Welcome back to pregame.tv. Saturday baseball action. We're going to PNC Park, my hometown. Pittsburgh Pirates play host to Washington. We got Strasburg on the mound for Washington. Pirates, and all of a sudden, locked for Pittsburgh's pitching great. The question I got for you, Ken, Strasburg, off to the 1-4 start. We were talking about it right before we went on camera. And off of his last start, he complained about, soreness in his arm and stuff. And then the next day, everything's okay. What do you make of it? Is there a problem? Is there not a problem? What do you think?
You know what? I'll tell you what. After what happened last year, they closed him down. And then for them to have the problems this early on in the season, kind of scary a little bit if you're a Nationals fan. A lot of eggs in that Strasburg basket and a 1-4 start. Not paying dividends right now. We'll have to wait and see a couple more starts. Hopefully he's able to shake it off. But they need him to get productive because right now they're hanging right around that 500 mark. They cannot go one way or the other, and they're trying to, get going. And when he does pitch well, he ends up with a no decision or he's taking a loss because they have not scored for him.
Haven't scored. Washington hasn't scored for any of their starting pitchers. This is like sick with Washington. They have been held to 2 runs or less in 9 of their last 12 games. You can't win ball games scoring 2 runs. You can't rely on your pitcher going out and pitching a 1-0 game, 2-1 game every night, and then you're putting your pitchers. They're on their toes because, you're not pitching with a big lead. You've got a 1-run lead. You got to pitch, like you're pitching a no-hitter, basically. Right. And that's not good for stress innings. But I look at my Pittsburgh Pirates here. This is a team that, at this point in the season, they got off to a little bit of a slow start, and then all of a sudden, they're playing great baseball. And prior to going into Milwaukee, Pittsburgh had won 8 of their last 10. Then they lost 2 out of 3 in Milwaukee. They always lose in Milwaukee. That's like a house of horrors for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
You called that on my radio show on Monday night, and you said for Tuesday, take Milwaukee, and they got the win, and then they got the other win, and Pittsburgh escaped with a nice comeback win on the last game.
Yeah, they stole one from Milwaukee. We saw the Milwaukee bullpen that we have seen in the past, which they had been managing to dodge that this year, but Pittsburgh stole one from them. But the Pirates are playing good baseball. They're back at home, and they're playing on a Saturday at PNC Park, and this is one of those things with Pittsburgh. It's crazy that even when they were a bad team, they always played well at home on a Saturday because it was the only time they got a crowd. I mean, the Pirates, let's face it, they're not a winning franchise. The longest losing streak in any major sport from any team they've gone in, and that pains me because I grew up with Clemente, Stargell,
Sure.
We Are Family, and they were good. Bonds, Bonilla, I was spoiled, and then I haven't seen anything, since. So,
right.
But before I wrap this one up, I'm going to kick it back to you for your final thoughts, and then I'll give my free.
Well, I learned my lesson because I came in here one night on a Friday to do my play, and I went against Pittsburgh on a Saturday, and all of a sudden, right before I'm going on, you're like, well, I just want to let you know the PNC stat in a Saturday, and I was going against McDonald, who really had been roughed up in his prior 2 starts, and he pitched a gem, and I lost, and I learned my lesson. Not going against the Buccos on a Saturday.
All right, well, let's make this one official. All right, guys. Pittsburgh Pirates at home on Saturday nights. It's been a stat that this has worked for about 5 years, Pittsburgh at home. But since last year, it hasn't mattered if Pittsburgh's played at home or on the road. They've played very well on Saturdays. They are now 21-9 since the start of last year on Saturdays. Pittsburgh comes to play, and they're going to be pumped up. You got Strasburg coming in here on Saturday. It'll be a packed house to see him. Even though he's 1-4, he is a big draw. PNC Park will be rocking on Saturday, and they're sending Jeff Locke to the mound. This guy has been a surprise for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He has been solid coming off of back-to-back gems. Last 2 games, he has pitched 13 innings of shutout baseball against the Philadelphia Phillies and the St. Louis Cardinals. We know the Cardinals are one of the better teams in the National League. Philadelphia up and down. We still don't know what they're about this year. But Locke has pitched well, pitching at home. I like the Pirates. The way Washington is struggling for runs, we're going to go ahead, take the Pirates on Saturday as our free play. We're going to be right back. Ken's got 2 plays for you. We're going to go out west. He's looking at LA, San Francisco. That's up next on pregame.tv.